Hi, this is Bill Waller, driver of the 53 Sprint car, 2008 season, getting ready here. You are in what we would call Waller Racing Headquarters, my garage. I'm going to give you a quick tour of what all we have here and just show you some neat stuff from years gone by, some personal memories that are just really cool and personal to me. We just painted the block and I'm waiting on it to dry. I've got it over in front of the heater, so hopefully it'll dry. It's supposed to be 60-something degrees today. It's not. It's actually cold. And I'm out here working, trying to put the engine together today. So, getting ready for the 2008 season, and I'm going to give you a little tour of the garage here. I'm going to try to zoom in on it. Is this document right here. It's tacked to the wall. This was a protest form from DFW Speedway. It doesn't actually have the date on it. I don't remember. It would be in the 80s. Actually, probably be in the early 90s. It was a $50 protest because I was racing a Volkswagen in those days. And it was lodged against me by Jody Fulbright. Jody Fulbright drove the 70 car and I drove the 53 car, as usual. And this was kind of a revenge protest. They were mad because I was beating them and we'd had some issues on the track and what have you, so they decided they would protest me to make me take my engine all apart. When they took the engine apart, the first thing they jumped on and said was, "Wow, your heads are cracked." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I put them together. They were cracked when I put them together. The heads were always cracked. On a Volkswagen, it would crack between the intake and exhaust seat." So it kind of took the wind out of their sails when I showed them that it was cracked, and I was just running junk basically. This one right here. Waller Enterprises Marketing, Sales, and Promotional Partnership Proposal prepared for Elliott's Hardware. I currently don't do business with Elliott's Hardware ever because of what this guy did to me. I called him on the phone and talked to him, told him about what we could do with the racing operation. He said that sounded great. I stayed up for nights and nights putting this proposal together. I called him and told him I had it together and I'd like to come talk to him about it. And he said, "Sure, come on out." When I got there, he wasn't even there. So, like a dummy, I walked around the store for about an hour with this proposal in my hand. Finally left, called the guy back, and he never would return my phone calls. So, I have no use for them, and I don't do business with them. Solves that problem. This is a picture of Evel Knievel. I've had this picture for 30-something years, maybe. And Evel Knievel was one of my heroes growing up, as he was for most people in the 70s. And I don't know where my dad got this picture from. Probably somewhere like the Harley shop. He kind of had connections at the Harley shop. So, probably got that picture at the Harley shop for me. You see Juke at the Joint? I was sponsored with by University of the Blues, and they put out an album that was recorded at a prison in Texas, and it was called Juke at the Joint. My car was on display at the Greater Southwest Guitar Show. I might have some pictures of that here in a minute. And that was one of the decals I had left over, so we just kind of found it the other year or two ago and stuck it on the window just for the heck of it. I've got some autographs of some very famous racers here. I've got Stevie Smith, the 19, used to drive the Ingersoll Rand sprint car, and Dave Blaney, currently a NASCAR driver. Moving down a little bit more, I have Jack Hodenschild, and it is autographed. There it is right there. We were on display one time at Walmart and actually had our cars on display with his. This is a very close piece to me here. This picture here was an image of my blue Volkswagen race car that Dusty, my current crew chief, drew for me when he was about 8 years old. Brought that out to the track and said, I drew something for you, and handed it to me. We've been racing together now for 15 years. I have stopped thinking about here. If I can get it in there, yes I can. This picture here was a picture of me holding the checkered flag and waving at the same time. I was driving with my knees. I'd won every race that night, and it was the night after I got into a fight with Jody Fulbright's dad, and came back the next week and spanked everybody and won every race they had that night. And that was a glorious. What you're looking at here is the Hooters. This was the top wing skin from Sammy Swindell, #1 Hooters car, and it is signed by Sammy Swindell, but it was kind of cool and misty that night, and there was a slight dew on things, and the ink has since just went away. The ink's no longer there. You can't tell it's signed by him anymore. But anyway, I have the top. So I'm going to get back to work, and we'll continue this tour.